I'm 30 years old, I'm married, my husband and I, we live in New York City and we have one child together. Now, even though I am married, I won't be sharing my husband's financial information out of respect for his privacy. So in today's video, all the numbers that I am sharing, it will be my personal net worth. Any assets that I do own together with my husband, I will basically divvy that up in half. So without further ado, let's get into it. For anyone that's new to personal finance, net worth is simply everything you own minus everything you owe. So assets minus liabilities. And it's one of my favorite financial metrics because it shows whether you're actually building wealth over time. Now I have all of my numbers in front of me, so I'll be looking down every now and then, but starting off with assets. Let's start with everything I own. So far for cash in my checking account, I have $50. This drives my husband insane, and some of you might think I'm crazy for having just this amount in my checking account, and that is because I have a very strict budget and I stick to that budget. So I know at the end of the month I will not be going under it. So for me, I get paid bi-weekly. Before I start taking money out of my account for when I get my first paycheck, I make sure that there is enough to cover any upcoming expenses or bills that do need to come out of my checking account. So for the most part, my account never hits under 50. If I could, I would have this checking account actually at 0, but my bank always alerts me anytime this number falls below 50, so that's why I keep it at that number. And the reason why I keep it so low is because I personally prefer my money to be put in at least a high yield savings account. This way that it gets interest. Otherwise, money's just sitting in the checking account. So that's why I have it at that number. Next is my high yield savings account. If you're curious, I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs. I've been using them since I was 21. So I've been with them for a while now. So for high yield savings, I have actually my emergency fund and also my sinking funds. If you want me to do a whole separate video about my sinking funds, I could deep dive right into that. But right now I have 7 sinking funds, and in those sinking funds combined, I have $7,605.14. And then for my emergency fund, this is combined with my husband, so I'm going to take half, and that is $18,219.94. Now this covers just a little bit over 6 months of emergency, but ideally I would like to bump this up to 1 year. So I'm not actually contributing anything to my emergency fund. I'm just letting it accrue interest. I think maybe later down the line I would want to start contributing to it, but that's a goal that I want to hit before I'm 40, is to at least increase my emergency fund to 12 months instead of 6 months. So total cash, that leaves me with $25,875.08. Now, moving on to investments, I do have a Roth IRA and I use Vanguard for this. I actually, when I started my Roth IRA or opened my account, I used Betterment, but that was because I didn't know how to invest or what to invest in. So I ended up using a robo-advisor that just did everything for me. And so I did Betterment for a good chunk of my early 20s, and then in the last couple of years I moved everything over to Vanguard, where I am investing everything myself now. So for my Roth IRA, everything 100% of my investments I invest in VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, and in that account I currently have $70,917.41. I also have a brokerage account, a taxable brokerage, and if you've watched my last video, which I will link in the cards and also down below, but it basically I go over what I'm using these next two. I actually have 2 brokerage accounts, next 2 brokerage account for. So if you're curious on what I'm saving up towards, you can watch that video. But for the brokerage account, I currently have $30,647.97. And then we as in my husband and I, we have a brokerage account, a joint brokerage account, which is our house fund. And I'm going to split that down the middle. And that is $26,593.32. So total investments, $128,158.70, which I am very proud of. I know the market has not been doing so great earlier in the year, but it's been picking up again, and I just love seeing the numbers go up. And yeah. Now for home equity, we do not own a home, so this is at zero. Cars, out of personal preference, I am not going to include the value of our car in our net worth. We do own 2 vehicles. They are paid off, but I don't really think they're worth much. One, we have a 2002 Toyota Sequoia, and then we have a 2015 Honda Civic. So in case you're curious, but I am not including the value of our cars in our net worth. We are going to drive these cars until the wheels fall off, essentially. And then next, I actually have collectibles, believe it or not. 2024, I started to collect Pokemon cards. That's when I first joined the hobby, and in that same year, that's when I stopped. Only because it got so difficult to get your hands on product. I want to say towards the fall of 2024, I just couldn't find cards in the stores anymore. And the only other way to get them were through third-party resellers, and paying the scalper price was just not worth it to me. So I had a bunch of sealed product just kind of sitting at home, and I decided, you know what, there's value to it. So I'm just going to hold on to it and see how much this will grow. To put into perspective, I think I've spent maybe like $8,000 on Pokemon cards, which sounds crazy, but as of today, I'm just looking at the numbers. The current value of all my sealed product, it has gone up to $12,921.53. So I made my money back on what I spent on the hobby. So if I were to sell my current sealed product collection, I would basically profit off of it, which is pretty insane if I think about it. But anyway, that leaves my total assets to, drumroll, $166,955.31. I'm very proud of this number. Yeah, it's crazy to think that I have over like 100K I would consider this liquid assets, right? So maybe like minus the collectibles, because again, it's only worth what it's sold for. But in terms of cash, investments, I'm very proud of how much I was able to save and invest and over the last, several years in my 20s. So yeah, very happy with that number. Now, for liabilities, I am very, very, very happy to say that I do not have any debt. I graduated college with no student loans. I had financial aid, so that took care of tuition. This applies to my husband. My husband does not have any debt at all. As I mentioned earlier, all the vehicles we own, they are paid in full. And then we don't have any property, so there's no mortgage there. And last but not least, credit cards. Yes, we use credit cards, but we pay our credit cards in full every single month, so we don't have any credit card debt. So that leaves the liabilities at zero, which I am hoping to keep at zero, minus maybe a mortgage in the future. But as of now, we are not going to be going into debt. And so that means my total net worth at the age of 30 is $166,955.31. So I'm sharing these numbers because I think we need to have more honest conversations about money. This isn't meant to compare myself to anyone else. Everyone starts at a different place and have different financial goals. My goal is to simply build a little bit more wealth every year and document the journey. Let me know if you guys like transparent money videos like this. Comment down below how old you are and what your current net worth is. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Follow along for the journey. Let's continue to build wealth and chase the magic. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.